All right, we're gonna try this again. Lord willing, everything is clear. All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring. The house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers. Shalom to the elect. All right, I'm back at you with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Kwadash. Okay, and just jumping back into this thing. All right, getting right into this article here. Matter of fact, let me get the full screen. Let's pull the full screen up. Salakia. All right, cool. So jumping into this thing, man, this is from the AmericaFirstReport.com. As you can read the headline here, it says biggest banks at risk of collapse this winter. Okay, it's going to be a cold winter. All right, a dark winter, Lord willing. All right, it says biggest banks at risk of collapse this winter as massive failures begin. All right, and once again, we told you in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai that eventually it was going to be led to this point. Okay, everybody's caught up with the distractions around the world, the war, all right, the hyperinflation, okay, the global instability, the uncertainty in the government, people losing their minds, all right. All these things are happening as people are caught up in, but in the meantime, all right, these devils are getting ready to crash the economy. All right, they have to get rid of the money to forward this next agenda. Okay, this next phase, which is the future of payment, the micro CHIP, the Karagma, man. This thing is coming. All right. Remember that devil Klaus Schwab, what he say? He said that this is what he said in quote. He said the demic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect and reimagine and reset our world. And part of the reset is what? Getting rid of the money. Okay, big major banks at the risk of collapse. These things are happening. Remember, America's at war. Okay, they need the war. The money system is going. Okay. Habakkuk 2 and 3 again. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." The prophecies. Okay, all these prophecies were set forth for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And Lord willing, man, this winter, something major happens. All right. So let's get into it, man. I got a few scriptures here and we'll wrap it up. All right. Biggest banks at risk of collapse this winter as massive failures begin.
Banks' top executives are warning of potentially challenging times ahead.
Well, I think what you're seeing is that a lot of the bank executives are sort of signaling that we're kind of at a crossroads at this point. We're already starting to see some of the cutbacks that are taking place. You've got some of the big banks that have been cutting their staff, kind of something on people's minds.
Bank executives are warning about unprecedented risks in the financial system. According to JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, banks are braced for worst-case scenarios as higher interest rates elevate the risk of failures and losses in the months ahead. Americans should pay very close attention to what happens next, because the turbulence will affect all of us. Dimon said that JP Morgan is now preparing for a broad range of outcomes and warned about impending risks that could wreak havoc on the economy and financial markets in the final months of 2023. The executive kicked off third quarter earnings season, alerting investors about a threatening outlook. Now may be the most dangerous time the world has seen in decades, he wrote in the company's latest report. The conflicts in Ukraine and in the Middle East may have far-reaching impacts on energy and food markets, global trade, and geopolitical relationships, he stressed. Despite reporting strong earnings for the quarter, the New York-based bank also reported a 6% drop in investment banking revenue for the past 3 months, with fees falling by 3% because of lower equity and debt underwriting activity. Deposits also declined by 4% from a year earlier during the third quarter, indicating that more Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, saving less money in recent months. With nearly $3.9 trillion in assets, JP Morgan is the largest bank in the country and a bellwether for the U.S. economy. So when things start to look cloudy, that can trigger shockwaves through Wall Street.
Exactly. Let's get a scripture on that, man. Like the brother said earlier, man, Esau just pushed the fucking button already. Jeez. Get it going already, man. You know, it's getting intense. Isaiah 30 and straight to the point. Isaiah 30 and 12, it says, "Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise his word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breakage cometh suddenly at an instant." All right, and this was going to happen. Let's read that in NLT real quick. Always get that in the NLT. All right, Isaiah 30 and 13, it says, "Calamity will come upon you suddenly, like a bulging wall that bursts and falls. In an instant, it will collapse and come crashing down." And that's the system. All right, eventually, it's all going to collapse and come crashing down, man. All you people that trusted in the money, that trusted in the government, that thought that this place was going to bounce back, that thought that Babylon could be healed. All right, you're getting ready to meet your greatest shame and confusion. All right, and as was mentioned in the video, the wars that's going on in Ukraine, the situation that's going on within the Holy Land with the Palestinian and so-called Israelis, all right, it's all leading to the crash of the markets, man. All right, it's all going to lead to this. And like I said earlier, we're going to keep talking about this over and over again until it comes to pass. All right, we're going to talk about this prophecy till we blue in the face. All right, because this is a main part of prophecy that has to come to pass before World War III takes off. All right, as the apostles and elders emphasize, before any of those things happen, all right, we have to speak about the mandatory implementation of this charagma. All right, it has to come to pass first before everything else does. All right, so Esau has his time is limited. All right, as we saw the quote from the devil. All right, they only have a narrow window of opportunity to reflect, to reimagine, and reset our world. All right, this is the plans and the devices of the wicked, of the elite. Okay, so they're moving. This thing is moving fast as hell, man. All right, Zephaniah 1, real quick, and I'm just doing this video to put it out there and warn all you Jakes that we're closer than ever, man. Very exciting but fearful times, you know. Zephaniah 1. Because what are we going to do? We're going to trust in Yahweh Shem Awashai, man. All right. The Lord said he was going to deliver his elect. He said that his servants shall eat, have drink. Right. He's going to cover his remnant, man, in the day of trouble. Right. Zephaniah 1 and 11, it says, Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it reads, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Awashai, that there should be the noise of a cry from the fish gate." All right, and that fish gate would go back to, like, you know, the place of business, the Wall Street that was mentioned in the video. All right, it says, "And a howling from the second and a great crashing from the hills." All right, we read that in Isaiah 30 and 13, that crashing, that calamity and crash was going to come suddenly at an instant. Okay. And that's going into what? The crashing of this economy that's coming, the inevitable. All right. It says, "There should be a noise of a cry from the fish gate and a howling from the second and great crashing from the hills." Okay. This government, this system is about to crash out and leave all you people helpless. All right. Those that put their whole heart and trust in it. It says, verse 11, it says, how how ye inhabitants of Maktish, it says, for all the merchant people are cut down. Yeah, the merchant people. All right. The place of business, Wall Street. All right. The stock market, the investors, the people that handle and watch over the economy. It's all going to be cut down. It's going to crash and burn. For all the merchant people, right? You got these people that handle, the stocks and bonds. They're handling, managing your money and putting it in the right portfolio and all of that. Your economists, your financial advisors, right? They're not going to have an answer for what's about to happen. A lot of them know, right? But they're not telling their clients that, right? For all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off, right? It says, verse 12, right? It says, and I will come, and it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and will punish the men that are settled on their leads, right? Because you got a lot of these so-called prophets that are just comfortable, man, that are not out here preparing the people for the battle. Scriptures tell you that in Ezekiel 13, they have not gone up to the gaps to prepare the people for the battle, man. You got these jakes that are lulling our people back to sleep, man. Here it is. All of this shit is going down throughout the world, and what you got guys pushing marriages and just folly. You see what I'm saying? Being comfortable here in Babylon, building a kingdom here, a Hebrew Israelite community. All of this shit is about to crash and burn, right? They say in their heart, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will not do good, neither will he do evil. Yeah, because these false prophets who are settled upon their leads, the ones that are comfortable, right? They got our people in the wrong spirit. Hebrew Israelites can have fun. We ain't in the time of none of that shit, man. All right, we are living in some very dire times, Jake. Okay, and when this thing comes to pass, it ain't gonna be no more confusion about what the MOTB is. All right, it ain't gonna be no more playing around, acting like you didn't know. Oh, it's cell phone, it's the credit card, it's the debit card. We already got it. We already got the MOTB. It's in our cell phone. All that play is gonna be out the window, Jake. When this shit goes down, you're gonna know exactly what the MOTB is, man. And a lot of you gonna take it too. All right. Anyway, let's get back into it.
In fact, a few days ago, Diamond noted during an interview with CNN that bank executives across the United States are climbing the wall of worry, referring to the poor risk assessment of Wall Street investors right now. And we should, he stressed, that's kind of our job, to be prepared for potential outcomes you don't expect. Wall Street, he added, is often focused on current conditions instead of preparing for what could come next. We do 100 stress tests a week, Diamond revealed. Usually, geopolitics presents itself as a deep recession or a mild recession. And markets doing well is not a reason ever to say they will continue to do well, the executive explained. Diamond also cautioned that tight labor markets and high government debt levels are likely to keep inflation elevated for much longer than expected, and that interest rates could rise even further, deteriorating the outlook for stocks.
Exactly. And like I said in my previous lesson, you people better expect for shit to get even tighter and get even worse, man. All right. You think you ain't got money now? Hey, wait until the next upcoming months. All right. You think grocery and rent and all these different things, gas, you think it's expensive now. Wait till these next coming months, man.
Similarly, Wells Fargo has observed stress signs among customers, with delinquencies exacerbating banks' exposure to failures. Losses on bad loans are so fast that Wells Fargo charged off $850 million during the quarter, more than double the amount it wrote off in the same period last year. Another financial institution reporting worrying numbers is Bank of America. After facing unrealized losses of $106 billion on securities in the second quarter, the bank revealed that losses climbed to $131.6 billion in quarter three. In total, U.S. banks could be grappling with at least $650 billion of unrealized losses in their securities portfolios, according to analyst estimates after prospects of interest rates staying higher for longer led to a bond market rout in the third quarter. Unrealized losses have come under closer scrutiny by investors since Silicon Valley Bank collapsed in March. Back then, the institution sold a portfolio of its holdings at a sharp loss, precipitating its downfall and fueling the worst industry turmoil since the 2008 financial crisis. At the end of the day, the bank failures that followed also pointed to large-scale deficiencies in the institution's management practices, a culture of profit-making at all costs, without regard to the risks involved, lack of supervision by regulatory authorities, and, in cases where it was carried out, it exposed regulators' faulty assessment. The failure of three large U.S. banks earlier this year brought into focus several vulnerabilities and gaps in the regulatory framework that failed to address significant asset and liability mismatches, deposit concentrations and outflow vulnerabilities, and signaled a lack of utilization and enforcement of often dormant existing supervisory powers, Fitch noted at the time. A new report by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision emphasized that the combination of high leverage and long-term opaque assets that are funded with short-term runnable deposits makes banks especially vulnerable to loss of trust in their long-term solvency.
Yeah, not going on now, man. People don't trust the banks. There was a few articles that came out of the last week. The headlines were entitled that do people, when you put your money in the bank, do you own the money, or does the bank own your money? Something around them lines, man. And see, when these banks belly up, all right, they have full access to your funds. They don't have to give it back, all right? And they already have the laws in place. When these things happen, they have complete access to your funds. So when it goes down, man, hey, like the devil said, you should own nothing and be happy, all right? This is the point we're getting to, all right? So you Jakes out there, man, pay attention, all right? Let me see if there's any more in the article here. You can go back and watch it on your own. All right, I like to go into these articles from America First Report. They do some good stuff here. All right, getting all into the numbers game and all that good stuff. But that's the point. So anyway, let's grab a few of these scriptures and wrap it up. Just putting it out there, man. Hey, this could be the winter where it all goes down. All right, this winter as massive failures begin. So let's see what happens. All right, this is James, the 5th chapter. All right, James chapter 5 and verse 1, and it reads, it says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." And this is directed to the rich, the elite. All right, the bankers. All right, we're in the time of what? Of their demise, of their fall. Okay, verse 2, it says, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. All right, and see, pretty much, this Federal Reserve was set up to rip these people off, man, and it's owned by the elites. Okay, and what they've been doing, which the term is called, quantitative easing. All right, throughout this time, they've just been printing money that's been useless, that's been worthless, right? And eventually, it's gonna crash out. There's no more value in the currency. All right, it's not backed by gold or silver. You see that? So they're just printing worthless money. Okay. And right now we're at that point where, as you see, these other nations are beginning to do away with the petrodollar, right? And this is why they can afford the digital currency, which is leading to the device, the Charagma. Okay. So this system is pretty much done for, man. Okay. And how did these devils make that money? How did they generate that wealth? Off of free labor, man. Slavery. Okay. So going back, it says your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth eaten. Verse 5 or verse 3, James 5 and 3, it says, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and it shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. So this is it, man. Okay, these devils are getting ready to fall. Their system is going to collapse. All right, this is the end of Babylon, pretty much, as we've been going through these lessons brothers have been bringing out. All right, we're literally witnessing the fall of this place right before our eyes, man. All right, it's a done deal. You see, Ezekiel 7:19. Okay, let's start up a little bit. Ezekiel 7:14. Ezekiel 7:12. Let's start there. All right. So it says, Ezekiel 7:12, it says, the time has come. The day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for the wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For the seller shall not return that which is sold, although they were yet alive. For the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goeth to battle, and the prophets are blowing the trumpet. Right? We will represent that prophet being blown. All right, that's warning you of the upcoming judgment. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword without, and the pestilence and famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But they that escape of them shall be on the mountains like doves, and all of them mourning, everyone for his iniquity. Man, it's going to be a terrible time, man. All right, I'll always bring this up. When you can't go to the bank and get money no more, what the hell you think is going to happen? What you think? What type of spirit is going to be on these people, man? When they say, when these banks turn people around and say, look, we don't have the money. You don't have access to your own money. All right, you can't get money out of your checking and savings account. What the hell you think is going to happen, man? It says, all hands shall be feeble and all knees shall be weak as water. People are going to be through. All right. They shall all gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them. All right. The fear and desolation that's going to be on these people, the destitution, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai, right? Because money is going to be completely worthless. Okay? They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. I want to read this in the NLT real quick, and then we'll wrap it up in a second. All right? Coming in, that's right. Same verses again. Ezekiel 7. In verse 20, NLT says, yes, the time has come, the day is here. Buyers should not rejoice over bargains, nor sellers grieve over losses, for all of them will fall under my terrible anger. Whew, man. You see, the economy, businesses, everything is about to crash out. Right? It says jobs, verse 13, even if the merchants survive, they will never return to their business, right? That's a wrap. Okay, it says for what the Most High, for what Yahweh Shema Shai has said applies to everybody or everyone. All right, everyone is going to be affected. It will not be changed. Not one person whose life is twisted by sin will ever recover, man. See, verse 14, it says the trumpet calls Israel's army to mobilize, but no one listens. For my fury is against them all. There is war outside the city, and disease and famine within. Those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Those inside the city will die of famine and disease. And this is what these devils are preparing. Okay, they're doing away with the food, right? They want to get rid of cows and chickens. They want to cut off the water. The carbon emissions and all of that, the climate change. They're pushing forth another disease, All these things are coming, whether you believe it or not. Verse 16, the survivors who escaped to the mountains will moan like doves weeping for their sins. Their hands will hang and their hands will hang limp. Their knees will be weak as water, because there ain't gonna be there's not gonna be any faith, right? People are gonna be defeated. There's gonna be a destroyed spirit amongst the people, man. No hope. It says they will dress themselves in burlap, horror and shame will cover them. They will shave their heads in sorrow and remorse. And that's what's going to happen for all those that put their trust in Egypt, all right, into this government, into this system. That shame and confusion is going to settle in. Verse 19, it says they will throw their money in the streets, right? They will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. Why? Because there's the money is not going to have any more meaning. Okay, it's not going to be worth anything. You ain't going to be able to buy and sell with it. Their silver and gold won't save them on the day of the Lord Yahweh Shemel anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up. Right. So it's all it has to get to this point, man. It's no turning back now. It's slowly but surely coming, man. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry, man. All right. This is why these type of headlines are coming up. Okay. Proverbs 11:4 says, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death." And those that have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that are part of the elect, those are the ones that are going to survive the destruction, that are going to survive the chaos that's getting ready to happen, man. You know, so all we can do is just continue to warn you. All right, this thing is coming. All right, prepare for it. You know, prophecy is speaking, man. So we'll leave it like that. You know, I pray this quick lesson was edifying. We'll give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. And shalom to the next one. Shalom.